I'm here at the Filmfest Hamburg, and my guest today is writer and director Geneviève Albert. And we're here to talk about your film Noemie Says Yes, or as the international title says, Noemie Says Yes. I have to say, when I saw the film last Saturday, it completely blew me away. But for our viewers who are not here at the moment, can you tell me in your own words what the film is about?
Sure. So the film is about Noemie. She's 15 years old and she lives in a youth center. I don't know how you actually say that in English. Anyway, a place where young people go when there's too many problems in their family or when they don't have family. And eventually, after a big event with her mom that crushed her heart, she decided to run away from the youth center. And very quickly, someone's gonna ask her to be a prostitute during the weekend of F1 Grand Prix. It's an event that happens every year in Montreal.
This is your feature film debut. You've done some short films, but how did you manage to put together such an amazing film?
First, thank you so much for your words. It really touched me. Prostitution is a reality that, touched me since I've been a teenager myself. For no other reason than I don't understand this transaction of buying someone and, using someone else's body for sexual purpose. It was obvious that this would be the subject of my first feature film. And I have to say that sometimes during the writing process, I was like, why did I write this very complex film with, many hard scenes to film and lots of characters and all that? Why did I should have written a movie with two characters in a room and that's it, right? But I was really invested in my film, and I worked very hard on it, and I also met a lot of people to help me out with the research. I met some prostitute woman, some prostitute teenager as well. I met a pimp, and so it was a long process, but it gave me all that juice and all these details to come up with this script.
And I think you can feel it with every second of the film. So I've read that during the Formula One Grand Prix there in Montreal, the rate of child and youth prostitution in Quebec rises.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why you choose the setting?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is why I choose this precise moment during the year when Noemie gets into prostitution, because it's a huge problem, and the organizer of the F1 knows about it, our government knows about it, but very little is made to stop that.
Have you heard any feedback from younger audience?
I did, actually, and these are I love to receive feedback from them, because there's a lot of, it's their generation that is mostly in my film, right? And they respond very well to the film. They can identify with the character, not necessarily in the path they're choosing, but just like in terms of what it is to be a 16, 20 years old boy or girl right now. And they're very shocked that there's this reality. For some of them, it's a discovery. And it's good. Like, I actually received a student prize at Angoulême, which, I was really happy to receive that prize because, it talked to them. And I was very happy about that.
The Filmfest Hamburg always had a soft spot for films from Quebec.
Yeah.
And as far as I can remember, almost every film was made by men. I'm so glad that this has changed, and in the whole world, and in the last couple of years, obviously, it has changed in Quebec as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
how has this progress been for you as a Quebecois?
I'm actually extremely proud of our institution in Quebec and Canada, because a few years ago they decided to, sign a contract or, you know, to make a point of giving equal money to, not equal money, but to oh boy, my English is, to support equally filmmaker, male and female filmmaker. And so, of course, like the result is that we have, you know, pretty much half and half films made by men and women now in Quebec, which is amazing.
What I really liked was that you never show the act of prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
You only show the customers,
Mm-hmm.
and but never together with Noemie.
Mm-hmm.
So how much thought had you been given into that beforehand?
Lots of thoughts, and I'm happy you identify that. Yeah, I didn't want to. Well, first I thought a lot about how am I gonna shoot these prostitution scenes without sexualizing my actress, without like, I don't know, without making it look like something glamour or fun or, you know, erotic in some ways. And yeah, so I turned my camera a lot on the customers. And also, I made a point to not put together in the same frame Noemie and the client, the customer, because for me, this visually implies a relation. And prostitution is not about relation, it's about the domination, it's about someone having power with someone else. So yeah, that was one of my main things.
Kelly DePaul, who plays Noemie, delivers a powerful performance.
Mm-hmm.
How and where did you find her?
I found her in a film of Anaïs Barbeau-Lavalette called La déesse des mouches à feu. I'm pretty sure she came here like a few years ago. And now she has Le Chien Blanc this year at your festival. So she's a Québécois filmmaker, and in La déesse des mouches à feu, Kelly had, you know, an important part in it. And when I saw her, it was like, that's not me, period. I didn't, you know, I gave her the role. I didn't do any auditions because I knew it had to be her.
And you were absolutely right. Here in Europe, more and more productions use the assistance of an intimacy coordinator
Mm-hmm.
who makes sure that everyone is as comfortable as possible with explicit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
How are you dealing with that in Quebec?
It's someone that we slowly, it's something that we slowly, how do you say, import in our production. On my film it was absolutely necessary, so we did work with intimacy coordinator, and I think that, you know, because some scandals still showed up in recent years in Quebec, and you know, the actress community just said, that's enough. Let's just, you know, let's set up a safe space for actors, actresses, and filmmakers to make these sex scenes, you know, as safe as possible.
If you see the final film now, is it exactly what you had in mind in the first place, or did it change over the course of the development?
It's actually pretty close to my first vision. I'm pretty happy about that. It's very special.
Yeah. I think this film needs to be seen. So how about the distribution? Have you been able to sell the film in any territories yet?
So we just sold the film to the France territory and of course Quebec, Canada, but that's it for now. So we, like, hopefully, effectively, we're gonna find a seller internationally.
We'll change that. I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
What do you hope the people will walk away with after the screening?
I hope that people will walk away with a very strong feeling. I hope that people are going to be deeply moved by Noemie's story, that people are going to be shocked by what they've seen or felt. Otherwise, I would think that I miss my point. It's a hard film because it's a hard reality, and this is what I wanted to transfer to the public, right? That we fall with Noemie into this world of being a young prostitute.
I can tell you, the screening where I was to, the people really felt that.
Oh,
Because
okay.
when you throw in the numbers of customers, I
Mhm.
heard people,
Yeah,
so it worked.
I'm
I
very
have
glad.
to Tonight the film will be shown here for the public
Mhm.
at the Filmfest in Hamburg. So what are your expectations for tonight's screening?
Oh, I mean, I hope there's gonna be a lot of people, and I really like Q&As, so I hope that people are gonna ask questions afterwards.
They will. I always think that having a budget for a film is always good for a film.
Yeah.
But is there anything you would have done differently if you had, let's say, unlimited money or unlimited time?
Seriously, no. I got lucky because we got, a pretty good budget for a first film. We did some miracles because my team was extraordinary. But, me and my producer we agreed that, we wanted as many days as possible in terms of the shooting process. So no, all is good for me.
That's lovely. Let's have a look at the future. Is there anything you can already talk about? Any new projects on the horizon?
There are two projects that I cannot talk about, but there's one that I can talk about. It's an adaptation of a play written by Sébastien David. He's an author from Quebec. And what can I say? It's going to be a total different tone. And the background is going to be the climate change. And the main character is, how do you say? He doesn't speak. How do you say?
He's
Not blind, the other one.
not blind and not deaf. The other one.
The main character doesn't
Yeah.
talk. So, I think it's going to be very interesting.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. I'm looking forward to everything that's coming away.
So much.
Good luck with the film. Have a lovely screening tonight. And it was lovely to meet you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was lovely.
Thank
That was
you so
lovely.
much.